Okay, this is another message or inquiry from Peugeot. No? Okay, let me not just say who the message came from. But it's from WhatsApp. Receive it on WhatsApp. So let me read. It said, "Good afternoon, dear Ikenna. I need your professional guide or advice, please. My wife is into distribution of FCMG products, and she intends getting a bus like Peugeot Boxer or similar Fiat product for distribution. I suggested Peugeot 807, which would serve distribution intent, intent as well as personal use, essentially that she does not have a personal car and our present financial position cannot facilitate getting a personal car or private car for her and a bus for her. Some seats will be detached when in distribution drive. The question is, are Peugeot 807 parts available in major cities in Nigeria? And how tough is the model? Any other model that can serve purposes that could be suggested? Many times. He also added, you may suggest any Peugeot model that could suit our drive. Okay, let me respond to this to the best of my knowledge. Peugeot 807. Well, your wife is talking about Peugeot Boxer. No, Peugeot Boxer is a box, it's a full-time box. So I don't know. It depends on uh, I don't know. It depends on the business. He said FCMG. I don't know what that means, but I don't know. He said of this size of the business. I don't know what she intends to do because I can't really compare 807 with Boxer. Boxer is a very big box. So, but for you to consider Peugeot 807, I think what you're saying is, something that can serve similar purpose of Boxer and can also serve as personal or private vehicle, which in this case makes sense to me. 807 is a van, so yes, we can use it for such commercial purposes. The good thing about Peugeot 807 is, yes, you can detach some of the seats inside it. You can fold it up, convert part of it to carry um, load. There's other project that can do that, like Partner. Uh, Peugeot Partner can do that. You can use Peugeot Partner for commercial and private. So you may have to consider that. Um, okay, Partner have different styles. There's one that is mainly it may be difficult to use as a private. There's one that is purely designed for commercial. You may not find any other seat that will be comfortable in the vehicle as in the rear seat. While some you can use as rear seat there or convert to, it's a Peugeot Partner may also serve what you're talking about. But 807 will serve better in terms of private. Yeah, you can use Peugeot Partner will serve better for commercial, but you can also use it as private vehicle. But 807 will serve both as commercial as private, you know. My point is, for your partner, you may not need to detach any seat. That's the thing. You may not need to detach any seat to use it, just like the Boxer. But of course, the Boxer is the biggest of these three. So Peugeot Partner is following next. I don't want to mention Peugeot Expert, because Peugeot Expert is also a pure box. It's not for commercial. It's a box. So well, there are some that design for like I don't know. It's a box. It's a box. Nobody can stop you from using it as private. Don't get me wrong. But I get where you're coming from. Something you can, without feeling or a need for another person, private car. Yes, 807, in fact, will serve better in this regard. But if you are looking at maybe you want to compare 807 or consider 807 with another model, yes, Peugeot Partner is there. Peugeot 307 station wagon can serve. Peugeot 406 station wagon can serve. But maybe you didn't even mention that because, probably you prefer something that has a bigger space. Peugeot 406 station wagon or estate, yes, it has space. You can fold the rear seat and the whole boot will serve, but it won't be as big as that of 807. So let's just leave it between 807 and Peugeot Partner. But if you want something more, I won't say practical because they are all practical, like the 807 is also, when it comes to practicality in terms of commercial and private, but at the same time, Peugeot 807 will serve that. But the 406 station wagon will serve that too, but depending on space. 807 has more space. For somebody who don't want to buy, what's it called? Peugeot Boxer. 807 kind of will be the next in line. Likewise, Peugeot Boxer is almost the same. Is on the same level with J5, Peugeot J5. But I think Peugeot Boxer replaced Peugeot J5. So, okay, now let's talk about Peugeot 807, since that is the one you like. Now, Peugeot 807, personally, if I were to choose between these two, if I were to choose, for example, I'm running that kind of businesses, or I don't know what FCMG means. If I'm running a business that means to be carrying load also, and I also want to use it for commercial, I'll go for Peugeot 807. Unless the thing, the load that I will have to be carrying will be higher than something Peugeot 807 can take, or at the entire rear seat. But if it's something you can handle, that's what I use. Peugeot 807, the ground clearance is not that much. Like I said, it's a van, so it doesn't have the ground clearance of that of bus, but it's high. Even the tires are not, they are not actually meant for comfort. They use bus tires, those high-profile tires that are very long. So, parts availability. Now, for my advice to you is, since you're running commercial and private, um, it comes with 3 engines, petrol engines. No, it comes with 4, depending on the production year or the phase. It has EW10J4. That's it has two 2.0 liter engine. That's EW10J4 engine and the EW10A engine. And both of these comes with automatic and the manual. And the automatic has 4 speed, while the manual has 5 speed on both engines. The next one, next petrol engine is 2.2 liter, which is EW12J4. I don't think they have automatic. I'm not quite sure. All the ones I've seen so far, we are all manuals. So let's just assume for now, let's just say it comes only in manual transmission on EW12J4 engine. That's a 2.2 liter engine that has how much? About between 158 to 160, is it 160, 66 horsepower. Then the V6 which is ES9J4S. Um, that one comes with only automatic. It doesn't have manual option. Comes with only automatic transmissions. So that's about it. Now, let me be honest here. You said your wife is going to be using the car, and so in that case, you may not be actively involved in the maintenance. Of course, no matter what, you still be the person to be doing the repairs or whatever, because since you are the man of the house, so to speak. So, no matter what you do, no matter how you want to claim, it's not a responsibility. It still falls down on you. If the car breaks down on the road, you are the one she's going to call, and you want to go to take it to a mechanic and get it fixed. So I will advise you go for EW10J4 or EW10A. Yes. Personally, I'll advise. Why I'm advising this, it's not because it's what I would choose. Trust me. If I were to choose, I would buy the ES9J4S. That's the V6. But then I will convert it to manual. Not because the gearbox there, it comes only with automatic, the V6 one. So if I were to choose, I will buy it and then use the parts, because the EW12J4 manual, because it comes in manual, the parts there, the clutch, so many other parts there can be used to convert the V6 one to manual, except that you have to now buy V6 gearbox, probably the one from 406 V6. So that's why I said there's no point, don't bother. The reason why I'm suggesting don't buy the V6 for the commercial is because not everybody can handle V6 maintenance. It's not really about the fuel consumption. Not some people, if it's a small misfire, a mechanic may mess up the engine because the engine is misfiring. Unless you are very sure you know a mechanic that handles V6 very well. So that's why I don't want to recommend it, especially since you are not involved. Even though I know you will be involved, but you know, on paper you are not. Since this is your wife will be using it for business, so you need a vehicle that, even if you are not there, any mechanic, or at least Peugeot mechanic, can be able to um, figure out what the issue is if the car breaks down at any point. It's a used car, so expect it to be breaking down every once in a while. And especially if you are using it for commercial purposes, it means it's going to be used severely. So there will be more stress put on the vehicle. So the parts will break down more often than person that use it only for private. So I would suggest EW10J4. Like I said, it's your wife that will be using the car. So, yes, the power, it won't have much power, but she wouldn't mind. I mean, who cares? She will not even know the difference between V6 and EW10J4 in terms of power. So, there's no point, trying to get the James Bond 827. Practically, the one that will make more sense is EW12J4, the manual one, you know. But I know if I talk about it now, since he says your wife, she probably will not bother with the manual. She won't even want to even consider that. Or she might. Maybe I'm saying something. I know 99% of the time when people call me and say they want to buy a car for their wife, that they want me to recommend, or that they want to buy cars and their wife will also be using the vehicle, they always prefer automatic because the wife will be involved, or the guy is going to the wife. So in that case, they always only insist on automatic. No manual consideration at all. So that's why I'm bringing this up. But another thing is, since your wife is even considering Boxer, I don't think the Boxer, I'm not even sure if Boxer has automatic uh, um, version. think they all come in manual. Maybe there could be automatic one. I've not seen one anyway, but I'm saying if she's considering boxer, it means she's ready to drive manual. That's what I'm saying. So if she's ready to drive manual, okay, we can bring back the 2.2 liter one on the table. Yes, can bring it back on the table. It has enough power. Not that the power is not up to this, it has enough power to pull the car effortless, well, not effortless, but at least very, very well compared to that of EW10 J4. But in terms of maintenance, the EW10 J4 and yeah, EW10 J4 will be the cheapest for you to maintain. EW10 J4, that's the first 2.0 liter engine, petrol engine in 807. That's the cheapest one to maintain. EW10A, I think, was towards the end. Later on, I think it was like phase 2 or thereabout, that they replaced EW10J4 with EW10A. The EW10A will conserve less fuel. It consumes less fuel. That it conserves fuel more than that of EW10J4. So, if you were to ask me, just go for manual for anyone you want to buy. Honestly, the reason why I'm saying this thing is, see, if you are doing commercial purpose, using any of your Peugeot car for commercial purposes, of any of these engines, the reason why I'm saying the problem is not the engine, it's the transmissions. I know the transmission that is attached on all these engines I've mentioned and how they react when they are used extensively. I know some people who are automatic transmission fans or die-hard fans will start complaining or start murmuring that why am I recommending only manual? There's nothing wrong with automatic transmission. Guy, listen to me. And I'm not talking to I'm talking to those guys who always think that I'm too biased to recommend automatic. I do this work. It's like you have your own means, so you have your own, things you do for a living. You have your business, you have things you specialize in, you have areas of specialization or whatever. This case, I'm telling you, these transmissions attached on EW10A, EW10J4, yeah, EW12J4, ES9J4 as engine. Their transmissions cannot take this kind of harsh use when it comes to, what's it called, commercial. There are some automatic transmission that can handle some of this, but these ones, trust me, please don't just bother. Many people that complain about their failures, all those things, they even use it for private, not even commercial yet. Every now and then, they are having issues with their gearbox. Not to think of when you now start using it constantly without this thing, and you think you can handle it. I mean, you buy a car for commercial purposes, and then every 2-3 months, you always replacing your gearbox or repairing your gearbox. Does it make any sense? How much do you even know what it takes? So even repair your gearbox, you don't want to change your gearbox. Trust me, you're spending close to 50,000 to change the valve body, or to service the valve body, or to change the fiber, whatever it is, or the solenoid. You are likely going to spend nothing less than 40 to 50,000, sometimes more. Okay, the gearbox is like 75,000 naira. That's if it's AL4. For 4HP20, that's the one in V6. You are looking at about 150,000, 160,000. Then remember, you are supposed to be changing the ATF at least every 30,000 kilometers. And the ATF is spending, you are likely going to spend at least average of 5,000 naira per liter. So it means every month or every 30,000 kilometers, you'll be spending, like if you are changing like with 5 liters, you're going to spend close to 25,000 naira. That is just to help the gearbox to start, not to fail. Which most people, even after doing those things, after a week, still fail. So just avoid it, get the manual. The good thing about the manual for this engine is you will have no business with the gearbox. The only person now, probably, if you are not the type that is very good in clutch engagement, every once in a while, your clutch, maybe your clutch pressure plate or your release bearing or friction plate will fail. That's about it. You have no business with the gearbox. So the only focus will be just to be servicing, to be maintaining your engine. I don't know. Sometimes when I say it, it's like, do I really need to convince people on this? But especially for commercial. There's no point you are doing a business and you're spending more than the profit repairing the vehicle. You have to use your logical sense in this. When you want to go full private, maybe you may consider only automatic, knowing that okay, you are doing it for comfort or whatever. So you are willing to spend whatever is it to take to keep the gearbox running. Not when it comes to commercial, you are looking for a way to reduce the cost of running the business. Yet you are spending so much in running the business because of the gearbox. I don't know. So that's why I'm suggesting just get a manual and forget about it. You know that the cost of running that vehicle or maintaining that vehicle will drop drastically compared to the people that buy the automatic. So that's why I prefer you get a manual. Like I said, luckily for you, about 3 engines, petrol engine in that 807 comes with what's it called? Manual gearboxes. The only one that don't have manual is the V6. And even that V6, you can still convert it to manual, but because not everybody want to go through the stress of buying a car and start doing the conversion, which you may spend about 200,000 to do the conversion. So it may not make sense to everyone. Probably it's only the enthusiasts that will want to go that route. So that's my. In terms of pass, no, the pass are available in major cities in Nigeria. Honestly, I know people that drive 807, and none of them have ever complained of not pass availability. Of course, the only thing I'll tell you is be careful so I don't wreck the body. All the other pass you can get, but the body pass may not be that easily. There are some pass that may take some time for you to find. If you are the type that's crusher, that every day you're having accident. But if that's not the case here, I mean, every other thing they're available, like the engine pass, same thing. Like I said, the engine, the gearbox, everything is just not the same in other Peugeot cars, like 406, 407. Every other common Peugeot car, the same in mechanicals. So yeah, the suspension are different, but their parts are available. Users, people that use them, to be honest, all the people that know that use it, they've never complained, like I said, that they are not finding the parts. So that shouldn't be a worry. I know here in Abuja, Kaduna, I don't know about Lagos, but I mean, come on, if you say in Lagos, you can't complain. You have big markets over there. Even those people here in Abuja go to Lagos to buy parts to bring to Abuja to sell. So how can you complain that you can't access to the parts over there? So yeah, they are available in major cities. I mean, what exactly are we even talking about? Yeah, apart from the engine and this thing, it's not like your suspension parts will fail in the road. Oh yes, if your shock absorber fails, it doesn't stop you from getting to your destination. You know, the brake pads are available. What exactly? I mean, I don't see anything that will say, okay, maybe if you are traveling or you are doing interstate, if you fail, you will find the pass. What exactly will fail? Is it everything is the engine bay is almost the same in other project cars. So I don't know. The same thing with fuel pump, everything is the same. It's common in all 407, 406, 607. So at least I know I've changed fuel pump for somebody that drives 807 V6, ES9J4S. And it's the same fuel pump assembly, complete, the same one in my Peugeot 406 V6. So that's what I'm saying. I mean, you don't need to worry about parts availability. It's available. So, um, in terms of maintenance cost, usual cost higher. The the V6 will cost higher in terms of repairs, not repairs or maintenance. For example, the V6 has a variable suspension. Variable, so if the shock absorber fails, it will cost you more to replace it because they actually cost higher. The other models, the other 807 with EW10 or two or four-cylinder engines, those ones have normal shock absorbers. So I don't know. EW10A to me, um, I would have that's what would have suggested. But the thing is, I don't know where you are. A lot of mechanics are still scared of that engine. So in that case, your best option might be to go for EW10J4. Mm. So I don't know. Honestly, I like that 807. To be very honest, I like the 807. I've driven it. It's very cool. Um, as even though it's a van, man, if you pull that car in speed, it handles very very well. Though the one I've driven, so about two different ones, they are all VC. So because of the suspension, the handling was perfect. So I'm not driven the EW10J4. So I wouldn't know how the engine EW10J4 engine will carry the distance, but I don't think it will be that bad. For the manual, it won't be. The other thing, yes, the power will not be that much, but like I said, it's your woman that is driving it. Something you won't mind about all those things. So yeah, I will recommend it. But if you feel okay, you want something else, well, we have 406 station wagon or estate, um, which is in terms of this, it's not that it won't be that easy, depending on the business you are running it with all the time. You won't have more space, than the 807. 807 is just like it's like you already done the calculation and realize that it makes sense for somebody who would prefer something for commercial and private at the same time. 807 makes sense compared to Boxer. Boxer is pure commercial. There's nothing about private on it. Nothing. It's pure commercial. I don't even know if it will be if one will be allowed to put a private number on it. Not even sure. So, but for 807, you can actually put it's a van, like I said, it's for private. So you don't even need to put commercial number plate on it. So I don't know. I hope that makes sense. Um, the another thing, toughness. Like I said, 807 was produced almost the same time of Peugeot 406, 206, and the rest. So in terms of toughness, they're all the same. They're very tough. The only thing is because it uses canvas. Yes, it has canvas. So be very careful. Be very, very careful. Don't mess with the electrical. Though some of them, the earlier ones had a van bus. So it just doesn't like abuse on the electrical. Don't just abuse the electrical. Just if you know the way for the 406, 407 users maintain their cars, as in when it pops off a fault, you diagnose it, see what the issue is, fix it. Rather, you give it a mechanic to do it doing tire and then or cutting wire, joining this and that. It's going to give you headache. The earlier ones comes with the BSI unit is exactly or similar to that of Z8, that's Peugeot 607 phase 1. So that BSI unit doesn't like abuse. If you abuse the electrical, it can shut down or start giving you errors you don't like because it does a lot of work. So it doesn't need to be abused so it doesn't crash. He's a good car guy. Just being straight with you. It's a car I will recommend to anybody who wants that kind of thing, commercial and private, maybe carrying load or something. It's very good. If I were to use it for me, of course, I'll go for the VCs and figure I'll later convert to manual, or I'll go for E12 because since E12 comes with manual, 5-speed manual, so I'll probably go for that one. So I won't have to bother about converting to manual for the V6. No. I'm just telling you what I'll go for. The thing about EW12 is it's a very good engine. It's very torquey, at least at low RPM. It has, it moves like V6 from startup. Um, the only thing about the EW12 is the motorized throttle body. It costs higher than every other engine in that 807. Like the new one, the motorized throttle body, the 807, the EW12 J4 costs about 70 something thousand. New one. Used one costs about 30 something thousand. While that of V6, well, we don't have new in Nigeria, but the motorized throttle body of V6, that's ES9 J4S, can get it maybe 10,000 naira, less than 10,000 naira. It hardly fails. That's why it's that cheap. It hardly fails. You may use your car for years, that VC, without even having any issue with it. The EW10A do fail. Not like it's not known for, it's not that common with it. EW10J4, it depends. If your model is the one that comes with throttle, that use a manual throttle body, then you will not worry about motorized throttle body. The thing is, they are cheap. That's the only thing about, or the negative side of EW12J4, the motorized throttle body. If it fails, other than that, it makes sense to me to recommend it. But if it fails, you spend a lot of money replacing it. So that's the thing. If you are if Alibi, you are the one, I would say just get that one. But is your wife? I mean, uh, if you cover up to send something to buy such thing, well, it's not like it's going to fail. I'm saying if it happens, that send something may not be fun to cover for something you use for business. But whatever one, you can buy it and do it the way you want. So, honestly, I wish I would have more time to spend. It's a car I appreciate, that 807. So go for it if I were you, and enjoy it. If you want automatic, well, go ahead, but don't buy that on V6. Just don't, please. If you are buying it for pure personal or private, then go for the V6. But for this thing, no, don't. So if you want this thing, yeah, you can buy that of EW10. It does the 2.0-liter petrol engine. It comes with EW10J4 with AL4 automatic gearbox, 4 speed. The gearbox is about 70 something thousand right now in Nigeria. That's a used gearbox in case it fails. The ATF is about 5,000 naira a liter. You need to change at least. It may take about 4 or 5 liters. I'm not so sure, but between 4 and 5 liters to do the normal ATF change. So, and you have to be doing it every 30,000 kilometers. So, yeah, you have it. For manual, you don't have to touch even if you want to change it, the recommended oil is not in Nigeria, but like I said, don't even worry about it. It's not a problem. So that's all. Okay, if you have more questions, just post it here and I'll answer the best I can. All right.